Unit 5, Vocabulary, Exercise 1. 1. Time.
Millennium, century, decade, year, month, day, hour, moment, minute, second.
2. Numbers.
Billion, million, thousand, hundred, half, quarter, fraction.
3. Measurements.
Kilo, ton, kilometre, metre.
Unit 5, Vocabulary, Exercise 2.
Age. Jeanne Calment, 1875 to 1997, lived 122 years and 164 days.
Height. 13-year-old Mahavath Purna from India climbed Mount Everest, 8,848 metres, in 2014.
Distance. In 1970, 3 American astronauts travelled more than 400,000 kilometres from Earth, around the Moon, and back to Earth again.
Rap. Chicago rapper Twista can rap an incredible 280 words a minute. That's almost 5 words every second.
Food. Takeru Kobayashi once ate 110 hot dogs in 10 minutes.
Books. Agatha Christie was one of the most popular writers in history, selling more than 2 billion books.
Films. Jennifer Lawrence is the most successful film actress of the last decade. The first Hunger Games film made more than $864 million.
Sport. Paula Radcliffe finished a 42.195-kilometre marathon in 2 hours, 15 minutes and 25 seconds.
Money. One of the world's richest people is Bill Gates. His wealth is approximately $86 billion.
Skill. Nancy Siefke shot an arrow 6.09 metres, using her feet.
Strength. Kevin Fast pulled a 55-ton aeroplane.
Endurance. Wim Hof spent 1 hour, 42 minutes and 22 seconds covered in snow. Brrr.
Unit 5, Vocabulary, Exercise 3. 1.
1.6,
2.
235,
3.
1005,
4.
23,608,
5.
1,253,871.
Unit 5, Vocabulary, Exercise 4. 6.
9.25,
7,
555,
8,
9001,
9,
82,359,
10,
9,999,999.
Unit 5, Vocabulary, Exercises 5 and 6. 1,
How long does a butterfly live?
I don't know. Any ideas?
My guess is about a month, maybe.
Most butterflies live for no more than 2 weeks.
2,
How much does an elephant weigh?
What do you reckon?
I reckon, I've no idea. I guess 10,000 kilos. What do you think?
Probably.
One elephant weighs between 4,000 and 7,000 kilos. That's the same as 80 people.
3,
How fast can the world's fastest car go?
I know that one.
Really?
Have a guess.
Around 200 kilometres per hour?
It's 435 kilometres per hour. The Hennessy Venom GT.
That's fast.
That's right. The world's fastest car can go up to 435.31 kilometres per hour.
4,
How tall was the world's shortest person in history?
I reckon about 60 centimetres.
Really? I reckon about 70 centimetres tall.
The shortest man in history was Chandra Bahadur Dangi, who was 54.6 centimetres tall.
Unit 5, Reading, Exercise 2.
A human brain. A user's guide. What's in a brain?
The average brain weighs 1.35 kilos, 75% of which is water. It contains about 100 billion cells and approximately 160,000 kilometres of blood vessels.
Are human brains the biggest?
No. Large whales, elephants and dolphins all have larger brains.
Are our brains changing?
They're 3 times bigger than they were 7 million years ago. And IQ scores are higher now than they were even a few decades ago.
What's IQ?
Intelligence quotient, which we can measure in tests. The average IQ is between 90 and 110 out of a maximum of 175. The most intelligent people have IQs of about 160. Albert Einstein's IQ was around 162.
Do people who are more intelligent have bigger brains?
Sometimes. The maths and space part of Einstein's brain was 35% wider than normal.
What's good for your brain?
The best things for your brain are sleep, exercise, water, and brain food, like fish, fruit, vegetables, and nuts. And a glass of water before a test can also improve your score.
What's bad for your brain?
Sugar, alcohol, and some food additives are some of the worst things for your brain. In a study of 1 million students, Those who had healthier lunches without artificial ingredients did 14% better on IQ tests.
And exercise? Can you train your brain?
Yes, it's a bit like a muscle. If you use it more, it works better. The lazier you are about using your brain, the less well it works. Are you using your brain today?
Unit 5. Vocabulary and Listening. Exercise 1.
Grace Hopper. A mathematics expert and computer programmer. She was also a university professor. Marie Curie. The scientist who discovered radium. First female winner of the Nobel Prize for Physics. Judith Polgar. #1 female player in the world from the age of 12 and the best female chess player in history. She beat the world champion Garry Kasparov in 2002. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. A talented musician and composer. Charles Dickens. One of the greatest writers in the English language. Leonardo da Vinci. A mathematician, scientist, inventor and artist. Leonardo was a genius with many different talents.
Unit 5. Vocabulary and Listening. Exercise 2.
1. Programmer.
2.
Professor.
3.
Inventor.
4.
Winner.
5.
Writer.
6.
Player.
7.
Composer.
Unit 5. Vocabulary and Listening. Exercise 3.
Champion. Expert. Genius. Mathematician. Musician. Scientist.
Unit 5. Vocabulary and Listening. Exercises 4 and 5.
And the topic of today's show is prodigies. OK, Claire, so what could you do when you were 5 years old? Were you a genius musician?
A genius musician? No.
Ah, well, maybe when you were 10, you were an expert mathematician or a great writer, perhaps.
When I was 10, definitely not. I still can't do maths now.
Right, well, don't worry. That means you were probably a normal child.
Yes!
But we're not talking about normal children today. Prodigies are children who can do amazing things when they're very young. Like this, for example.
Let me guess. Mozart?
Correct. The composer Mozart could compose and play piano and violin when he was 5. Most kids can't read until they're 6. Mozart wrote this piece of music when he was 8.
Wow. What about the pictures then? Any ideas?
Yes, this one's by Leonardo da Vinci.
Yes, that's right. And we all know that Leonardo was a genius.
But did you know he couldn't spell very well?
Ah, that's interesting. So geniuses have problems too. What about the other painting? Is that boy the artist?
Yes, his name is Kieran Williamson, and he painted this when he was 10.
It's beautiful. How much are his paintings?
That one is £22,000.
Really?
Yes, and when Kieran was 10 years old, he already had £1.5 million from his art.
10 years old and he had £1.5 million. He can't spend all that money.
Maybe you can help him, John.
Good idea.
Unit 5. Speaking. Exercises 1 and 2.
That's amazing, Joe. When did you learn how to dance like that?
I had lessons at my old school. Do you like dancing?
I love it, but I'm no good. I really want to learn to dance salsa.
Yeah?
What's the best way to learn?
It's probably best to have lessons. I'm sure there are lots of salsa classes.
Yeah, but I haven't got any money for lessons.
Well, you can watch videos on YouTube.
I suppose so, but I need people to dance with. You can't dance salsa alone.
Well, you can find a friend to learn with you.
That's a good idea.
I'd like to learn salsa.
Really?
Yeah, it looks fun.
Great!
Unit 5. Review. Exercise 7.
I don't usually like doing homework, as you know. Yes, I know. But this article about Albert Einstein is really interesting. Really? Why? Well, we usually think that geniuses like him were child prodigies, that they could do things really well when they were years younger than other people. Yes, like Mozart, or, well, Mozart, exactly. But listen to this. Einstein was the most famous scientist of the 20th century, but he couldn't even do maths at school. You're kidding. No, it's true. He was one of the worst students in his maths class. Probably even worse than you are. Thanks. And he couldn't remember names or phone numbers. Just like you. Obviously, I'm a genius. He talked slowly too, when he was a child. That's not a bad thing. No, it isn't. But I thought that all geniuses spoke really quickly. Not true then. No. But there are things he could do that are surprising. For example, he could play the violin very well. His mum was a musician and she wanted him to play. He played the violin all his life, and he could sail. He often went sailing. Apparently it was relaxing. But he couldn't swim. He was brave. What's the best way to learn how to sail?